Hi, okay, I'm hoping you can see me all right, and I'm just doing this impromptu live tapping for anxiety. I've kind of stayed away from my page a little bit because I felt quite overwhelmed about the sense of responsibility for providing tools for people, as well as knowing that I'm getting requests for healing separately, that I'm doing sort of distance Reiki type things, and also some work with setting up a pilot scheme to help people, NHS workers in the front line who are struggling with trauma at the moment because of all the overwhelming things that are having to go through. Anyway, today, oh hello Claire, lovely to see you. Today I just thought I'd do a little impromptu tapping on anxiety. So I'm going to quickly run through the points just to remind you, or just to educate you if you don't know what they are already. Please forgive my glasses as they wiggle up and down, because they will, just to find the tapping points. These tapping points, as I go through them now, we go for the top of the head, so just tap along with me so you become familiar with it. We do about 6 or 7 taps, we're not counting, and we're going at a comfortable pressure. Please don't hurt yourself, okay? Then we go to the inside of the eyebrow, and it can be this one, or both. It doesn't matter. You are literally just tapping on meridian endpoints to discharge the energy from the body. And as we do this, we're also going to say statements, but let's run through the points first. So now we're at the outside of the eyebrow. Then we're going to come underneath. So it's kind of where your pupil is. If you look forward, it's then underneath the eye. Okay, so we're on the bone. Hello, Cherry. Lovely to see you too. Then we're going to come under the nose. And then we're going to come to the chin point. And then the clavicle. So you've got bony bits just here. And then if you come down a slight angle, you're going to have a little dip. And where that dip is I think that's the kidney meridian point. So we tap there. If we're fearful, this is a main place to sit and tap, okay? This is a good one. Then we're going to go under the arm. So we're kind of in line with the bra strap. Under the arm that way, or that way. It doesn't matter, okay? The choice is yours, whatever is most comfortable for you. If you're big busted, it's probably easier to do it that way, okay? I'm not, so I'm going that way. Okay, and then we come to the inside here. So we're going onto a wrist. Again, either wrist, doesn't matter. We're just tapping across the whole thing because there's lots of meridians down here. So we tap over those. And help, again, like I say, this just helps discharge all the energy out of the body, because when we're stuck with heavy and difficult emotions, they kind of stays in till we acknowledge and let them move on. And often what we'll do is we'll just go around in a cycle, which means that we don't ever discharge, we just stay in the loop. Then, I don't know if you can see where my nail bed is. I'm literally tapping at the edges, so we'll do that on the thumb. We're going to do that on the fingers as we go through. Okay, so we're just going to tap, tap, tap in that space. Okay, and that's basically all of the tapping points that we're going to go through. But we will start on this one, which we call the karate chop point. So when we're doing this, I'm going to need your help, because I'm not struggling with anxiety. I'm more struggling with the hiding away thing at the moment. So if there's certain things that are really bothering you, I'd really like you to put it in the chat so that I can address that directly. Otherwise, I'm just going to go global, which basically means I'm going to be working more with the idea of what anxiety might feel like, and it might not be resonating for you. So always use the phrases that sit and work for you, okay? So we're going to start with what we call a setup statement. And the setup statement always starts, as you're tapping on this point, karate chop, doesn't matter which side, and you can do both, okay? A lot of people do both. It's whatever feels most comfortable for you. And again, we do 6 or 7, but on this point, we'll probably do more, because we're going to be thinking about what it is we want to say. And actually, that's a good point. One thing that's really useful for you to know is if you are in the moment of hell on earth, as it were, and you just don't even know how to phrase what you want to say, just tap. Just keep tapping all the way through and talk it out. One of my clients calls it tap on the crap. And it's true, just tap on the crap. Just say what you're saying and get it out of your system, because it's no good to you inside. It's much better to have it out so that it relaxes your body systems, your fight, flight, freeze responses, and allows your body to come into harmony again. And if your mind and body are in harmony, you can think better, you can act more with purpose, and you can be more present for those that are around you, your loved ones, etc. Whereas if you're in fight, flight, you're in anxiety, you're in overwhelm, you are going to be really distracted. So use this as a way to calm it down. So we're going to go with this. So we're going to start here, and we're going to start with something which we always put at the beginning called even though. So we say even though because we're going to state that even though I've got this problem, it's okay. We're not trying to cover up the problem. We are airing it, we're giving it light, and by acknowledging it, it helps us feel more at peace with ourselves. If we keep hiding it and pretending everything's okay, it'll just simmer and boil underneath, and that's no use to us at all. So we're tapping here and we say something along the lines of, even though I'm feeling this anxiety about what's going on around me at the moment, I acknowledge this, and then add in, if this feels right for you, I completely love and accept myself. Now, if you don't feel comfortable saying I completely love and accept myself, if it makes you utterly cringe, then just say I'm okay. All right? We are aiming for I completely love and accept myself, but it might not be feasible for you right here, right now. Now say hello to Graham and James. Nice to have you on board. Okay, so here we are going to tap here, and we're just going to say, even though I have this anxiety, I completely love and accept myself. Then we're going to go to the top of the head, and we're going to tap 6 or 7 times. Again, it doesn't matter, just nice gentle pressure, you don't want to hurt yourself. And we are saying, I have this anxiety. And come down to the inside of the eye, I'm feeling anxious. Now this is the point where I'd really ask you, if you're struggling with anxiety, to have a little tune in, focus on what it is that you're anxious about. And where you feel that anxiety. Is that anxiety in your chest space? Is it in your abdomen? Where is the anxiety? And as you're tapping through these points and you're focusing on that anxiety, become really clear, if you can, about that feeling, and write it down. Out of 10, how strong is that feeling? 10 being like at the top, can't cope with any more than that, and 0 not being there at all. Hello Barbara, lovely to have you. So as you're tuning into that anxiety, where is it sitting in your body? Can you, somebody message me where it might be in their body? Just so I have something to go with. And in the meantime, I'm going to go with, I tend to feel anxiety in my chest and my belly, actually. It's like I can't breathe kind of thing. So I'm going to go with that statement. But if you want me to be more specific to you, please put some stuff in the chat. Okay, so this anxiety in my chest, this anxiety in my belly. Have a little think, what colour is your anxiety? And just guess. There's no rules about this, and you can't get the answer wrong. This is your body, your energy. Okay, tummy, brilliant. Thank you, Graham. So in your tummy, what colour is that? What shape is it? And what's it made of? These are things to just ask your subconscious. Just ask yourself gently. Allow yourself to sit in that space. Don't pressurise it. But we're just going to tap on maybe that ball of string in my tummy, maybe something like that. Maybe it's a yellow ball of string in my tummy. Maybe it's whirring. Maybe it's pinging. You have a look at what that's doing for you, that anxiety. So I've got that anxiety in my tummy about all that's going on around me. The world feels so different to me. I don't recognise where I'm living anymore. I'm scared about my job, maybe. I'm scared about getting ill. I'm anxious about my family getting ill. I'm anxious about finding work again. What is it that's bothering you? So as you focus in on that sensation, so for Graham it being in his tummy, where is it for you and what's it relating to? Give them a voice, because while we hide it, it'll sit there going, I want your attention, so it'll keep building. So just acknowledge it, accept where it is as you tap through those points. So maybe that yellow anxiety. So if I was going for anxiety, I tend to have, let's have a little tune in. Oh, mine's a sludgy, greeny, yellow sort of colour that's sitting right here on my chest. So I'm going to show you how I would do it, and you can tap with me and change it for what suits you. Okay, so I have this sludgy, greeny, yellow ball sitting on my chest. This anxiety is at, say, a 7 out of 10 for me. What is it for you? And you're tapping through this. This anxiety feels quite strong about the future. I don't know what the future holds. This greeny grey, this greeny yellow ball of anxiety on my chest. It's kind of pressing down on me. What's yours doing? And if you don't know, don't worry about it. Just keep talking about the anxiety. You might not be able to connect to it on a sensation level, and that's okay. We all work in different ways. So just go with what feels right for you. Okay. So all of this anxiety sitting on my chest, pressing on my chest. What does the future hold? Are those around me going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? What's the world going to look like when we come out the other side of this? Just give voice to everything that's bothering you, everything that's making you feel anxious. Give it a voice. It needs to be heard, and if you keep it inside, it's just going to build. Trust me, I know this bit. So keep going through the tapping points, all this anxiety, so much anxiety in my body, all about the future, all about what it's going to look like when I come out the other side. Will I still have work? Will I still be able to work? How are my family going to be? What if I get ill? What if they get ill? Whatever your anxiety is, just name it as you tap through these points. So mine is the grey-yellow anxiety. It's on my chest. It's just sitting on my chest. It's kind of seeping in now, which is a bit yucky, but that's okay. So this yellowy green seeping into my chest. It's kind of getting in everywhere. And that's a bit like anxiety, isn't it? You think about it. Anxiety pops up when you're least expecting it. And you can't know where it's going to come up or when it's going to come up or what it's going to come up about. It just pops its head up wherever. So it seeps in. So just allow that to come up for knowledge, for having the light shone on it, just so that you can recognise it. You know it's there and you can see it. So all this anxiety, we're just tapping through the points, allowing it to be discharged very gently. When I get to the end of these finger points, I'm going to go through a little breathing exercise with you, very, very short one, just to help everything come back into alignment, breath and body, because bringing up the emotion can help the breath come out of sorts, but tapping brings it back down. It's very soothing for the body, very soothing for the mind, but so is breath work. So you might find actually hand on heart is one of the nicest ways to do this. It helps you stay focused. So just close your eyes very gently and take 3 breaths coming in through the nose and out through the mouth, just as long and gentle as you can do in a relaxed manner. And then resume your normal breathing pattern, just for sort of 3 or 4 breaths. And then gently open your eyes. So take a little tune in, and what number is that anxiety down to or up to? Sometimes it can go up because we engage with something. and that can mean it goes a little higher. But if you've been engaged with it, then hopefully it's coming down. It might not drop by very much, or it might drop a lot. Everyone is very individual. You will be doing nothing wrong, okay? So just have a little tune into what that might be. And if you can put any feedback in, that'd be great. Just let me know what you're at, what your what your number is, what your feelings are. Mine feels like it's gone down to about 4 or 5. So there's still work to do. We always keep tapping until we're at a point of being around a 1 or a 2 tops. I don't really like being don't even like being at number 2. I much prefer to get my clients much further down, because then it's cleared and it's out of the way and you can move on to the next aspect, which might be overwhelm or something else. We're all very individual. So as you're tuning into it, just see how it's changed for you. So I can see that what was about this big sitting on my chest, it's still a greeny yellow colour, but it's about this big now, so it's smaller. What's it doing for you? Is it, Graham? Oh, bless you. Okay. So what did that look like for you, Graham? And that's the key thing, is focus on that. What does it look like? And focus on your feelings, because they need an outlet. Feelings aren't supposed to be ignored, and we've just got really practiced over our years and in our culture of just sitting on it. Brilliant. And what are you at now, Graham? If you're at a 7, what have you come down to? Or what have you gone up to if we're engaging more? Just having a look at that. And what does it look like? And is the colour the same? Because it can change in all sorts of ways. So just be really present with how it's representing to you. Or, as I said before, you might not actually have any feelings that are going on with it. You might not be aware of it being a colour, a shape, or a density, or anything that it's made of. It might actually just be a knowing that you feel anxious, and that's that. Okay, so Graham had a brown splodge of paint at number 7 with the anxiety. So you focus on that. When you do the tapping points, you say, my brown splodge of paint, and be clear about where that is on your body if you can sense it. Okay, so we're going to do another round, and as I say, mine's a greeny yellow. It's not a very pretty colour at all, and you'll often find that the emotions that are difficult and can be quite insidious can be quite gungy looking in colours. It's not a hard and fast rule, but they can often be. Okay, so even though I feel this anxiety, and my anxiety looks like a medium-sized disc of green, actually I want to say paint as well, greeny yellow paint, and it's seeping into my chest space. Brilliant, well done, Graham. So he's coming down to a 4. Just keep tapping. So reframe, go like for you. How is it representing? And then we just tap through the points again. So I'm going to go with you, Graham, if that's all right, just because it's easier to interact than it is to stay on my own stuff. Okay, so even though I have this anxiety about this idea I have for my future, and it's at about a number 4, and it's like a brown splodge of paint, I acknowledge this, and I completely love and accept myself. And again, if you can't say I completely love and accept myself, you just say I'm okay. But we're always aiming for complete love and acceptance of the self, okay? And because we've been connected to it, we don't need to do it 3 times on this occasion again. We just come straight up to the top. I have this brown splodge of paint. It's all about the future of my group. Connected with the discussion I had yesterday. This anxiety about the future. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to be received. I'm not sure I can take that out there yet. All of this anxiety, because I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Coming to the finger points. I'm just trying to tune back in. Again, always use the words that suit your predicament. If they are not matching mine, please don't use mine. Use yours, always. It's your energy, your feelings, your emotions. It's you that needs the clearing. Okay, so just do what you need to do. So, this brown splodge of paint, it feels quite strong in anxiety. It's just sitting in my energy. This worry about how it's all going to be received. Is this a good idea or not? Can I do this? Is it the right time for me to do this? All this anxiety. There's so much anxiety because I don't know which way to go with it. I don't know where I'm heading to. And I don't know what's right. This anxiety about the future. All this anxiety about the future. So, how are you doing, Graham? What number have you come down to? I'm just tapping on the anxiety. We're letting that go. And when we get down to, say, 2 or below, then we can start to add in what we call choose to statements, so the realisms. So where we thought something was a particular way before, by tapping we've released the energy around how truthful that must be and how real that must be. We've released that energy, which allows us to have bigger viewpoint on things. So it allows us to become more resourceful. And as we become more resourceful, we can see that there are different ways of doing things, that maybe the way we thought it was actually isn't the best way for it to be. So we can start to add in choose tos. And that might be something along the lines of, it's okay now for me to choose to feel relaxed about this, inside of coming into the inside of the eyebrow. Maybe it's okay for me to choose to feel safe about the future. And come to the outside of the eye. Maybe it's okay for me to choose to feel relaxed, even though I'm not in control. And I like being in control. Brilliant. Thank you, Graham. Hello, James. So then we're coming into choosing to. What is it you want to choose to bring in instead? So I would want to bring in feelings perhaps of safety and relaxation and maybe expansion. Everyone has their different opposites to anxiety. So whatever the anxiety was, and hopefully you've shifted that down to a 2 or below. If you're still above that, you need to go round and do it again. Okay, just more rounds, get more exact and more pinpointed towards what's actually going on for you. It's really important to acknowledge your discomfort. Okay, so as you're going through, we're now allowing the choose tos to come in. So I'm going to go with what my choose tos would be. Please put your own choose tos in if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, just follow me if you haven't really got a Scooby on what you would put in there. Okay, so I now choose to allow myself to feel relaxed about the future. To know that nothing I do can actually change what's going on for me right now. And so it's okay for me to just relax and let go of responsibility. It's okay for me to just relax and breathe. I choose to relax and breathe. I choose to allow myself space. Worrying about the future isn't helping me. Allowing myself to breathe does. So I'm going to breathe. I can't decide the future. And when the time's right to take action, I can. But that might not be now. And that's okay. I choose to be gentle with myself. I choose to be loving to myself. I choose to stop giving myself a hard time. I choose to allow myself to breathe. I choose to allow myself the space to relax. This is what I want to choose for myself. I don't need to put myself under pressure anymore. Anxiety is not healthy for me. So I choose to relax. And if I need to tap again, I know that I can. Okay. Take a deep breath and let that go. If you find that the choose twos aren't sitting right for you, that maybe you're still resisting them, then I would suggest you go back through the tapping on what's not good for you right now. Be really clear about what's not working for you. Be really honest with yourself. When you clear that out of the way, then the choose twos can come in really easily. But while you've got something working against you, it's really hard to bring in the good stuff. So just let that go, then bring in the good stuff. And as I say, if you're not clearing it very quickly, do another round and another round. Most levels of, if you're at about a 5, you can probably clear it quite quickly with 1 or 2 rounds. If you're at an 8 or a 9 or a 10, you need to do more rounds, but keep tapping, because the tapping just allows the fight-flight response to settle down. It allows us to become more open to the resourceful side of ourselves. So it kind of switches our thinking brain back on rather than just reacting all the time. So the more tapping you do, the more healthy it is for your whole body and for your mind and emotions. Okay, so I hope you found that really useful. If you want something else to be shown how to tap on, just message me. I'm quite happy to do these now that I'm out of my finished hiding away kind of phase. And I can do little impromptu Facebook Lives whenever, but just let me know what it is you want to work on, because what's going on for me might not be the same for you. Okay, have a lovely evening and take care.